Dennis Jr. here with Zager Guitars in Lincoln, Nebraska. Today we're going to talk about guitar sizes. What is the best guitar size for you? And you can see these sizes and the exact dimensions on our compare size page. If you're on our main guitar page with all the guitars on it, if you scroll down to the smaller guitars down there, the OMs, the travel size and parlor size, you'll see at the descriptions there, it'll have a little link that says compare sizes, a little blue link. Click on that and you'll be on our compare size page, and there you can see the exact dimensions of each one of these. But today my father and I are just going to go over each one and look at the measurements, that sort of thing, and kind of do comparisons between all four sizes. But if you look here, you'll see way at the end here we have our travel size guitar. This is a 36-inch size guitar. They call it a 3/4 size. Next to that, go up 2 inches, it's a 38-inch. This is our parlor size guitar. And I'm gonna go one at a time here, then I'm gonna come back and explain the details. Then we have our OM size, our orchestra model, and then we have the regular full-size dreadnought. The full-size dread is the most common, most sold guitar size in the world. That's the majority of our customers and players around the world play the full-size dreads. So anyway, the four sizes. If you're just starting out, you're a regular male, female, I would say above 5 foot tall. There's nothing wrong with, I usually recommend the full-size guitar. And reason being, the full-size guitar gives you the most sound. You notice it's got the biggest box. You're going to get the most powerful sound out of the full-size guitar. You have the OM size here next to it, and that is a little bit, if you notice the shape of it, it's more of an hourglass shape. It comes in just a little bit more, and you're going to lose a little bit of power that way, but you're going to gain a little bit, maybe it's going to be a little more comfortable. And, I'm going to pull these off here and have my father demonstrate here. Here's a full size. I'm going to turn around this way here. And you notice how he holds the full size here. He's hoisting his right arm up around over the box just a little bit more than he would like, let's say,
a little kid with this is going to be like
this. Now when you're talking maybe your 7-year-old child, I would probably be looking at the parlor size here, or maybe the travel size if he's really small. Between these two, I almost always recommend the parlor size here because it delivers more sound than the smaller box travel size. Unless you absolutely need the smallest guitar for travel. I do have some guys, who this is their second guitar at their office, and guys who travel around the world and just want the absolute smallest guitar. And for that, I will recommend our travel guitar all the time. Got a lot of guys coming from the Baby Taylors, the small Martins, who are going with the Zager just because we have that playability value that they do not. Also, sound. If you read the reviews and testimonials, we put out a pretty big sound. Naturally, the smaller the guitar, the smaller the sound. That's the way it works with guitars. The box is its speaker, and the smaller the box, the smaller the sound. But we do a lot with that box just because of our custom bracing system. So you're going to get more sound out of our smaller guitars than other. But if you're comparing, like our OM size guitar here to our parlor, our OM is going to sound just a little bit bigger than our parlor, which is going to sound a little bit bigger than our travel. But you want the biggest sound? That's going to be our full-size dread. So yeah, give this a strum. I can see how you sit with it here. You got your arm over the right-hand side. Big, rich, deep sound. This is our ZAD 50 CE. Okay, now I'm going to go next in line to our OM size. Now this is the size that you like. I know you play OMs all the time.
I like
now notice how he gets his right arm over the OM just a little bit easier. It's because of that hourglass shape.
We're not as thick here.
It's a little bit thinner, and we're talking like ½ an inch. But it makes a difference. And I will say, hold on for a sec. I will say on all of our guitars, specifically the full size, our boxes up here are a little bit thinner than most guitars, and then they billow out down here. And what this does, this allows you to pull it in close to your body. So we've already got a comfort level built in on our full-size guitars that a lot of manufacturers don't. Yet we can deliver more power because we're a little deeper back here. So you get best of both worlds here. You get very comfortable, big sound. So our guitars in general, our full-size will be more comfortable than most full-size guitars. But if you want that added, that ability to pull it in close a little easier, that sort of thing, my father likes the OMs a lot. You like these in the recording studio, don't you?
Well, they're recording studio, you a lot of times get too much bass.
Yeah,
and they have to roll off the bass like mad on some of the big
some of our full-size guitars, I mean, they put out so much sound, they'll overpower the mics and cause distortion, where he likes the OM size because this guitar, listen, it's
got good tone.
It's very smaller. Yeah, it's a very rich sounding guitar, but not quite as deep as the full-size guitar. So if you're willing to give up a little bit of the power for a little bit more comfortable guitar, or maybe you use it in the studio and you don't need all that power. If you play for, if you have to cover a room with sound, go with the Dread. If you're just looking for that, and again, I recommend it over the OM 95% of the time, but we have some players like my father use them in the studio, wants the absolute most comfortable guitar, something that he just uses by himself. He doesn't have to cover, these will cover a room with sound, just not quite, I'd say 15% off of our full size for OMs. But it is more comfortable. They're great to pull in close on the sofa. Here. Now I want to go back again to the full size if you folks missed it, so you can just see how he sits with that in his arms.
Now I'm just under 6 foot, so
yeah, he's about 5'10", so
I work with one of these okay size-wise, but OM orchestra model.
You're used to that. You've been playing that years and years. Most of the models we sell now, it's about a 85% go with the full size versus the OM. I'd say that right now. Not that that means anything, but I just thought I'd throw that out there. But you notice the sound difference? A little bit more punch, a little more depth.
Power.
Same playability. These
you really get on it. It can bellow.
Yeah, these bellow. And you'll notice the neck size is the same. If you measure from nut to saddle, the scale length is exactly the same on those two guitars. So they have the exact same neck, same shape. So don't think that the OM is going to play easier because of that. It's just that the body is just a little bit different shaped. It'll have the same playability. Just you can pull the OM in closer a little bit easier on the sofa, but it's not going to have the power that the full-size Dreadnought's going to have. And then we go down to the parlor size, which is just a little bit smaller yet. You notice it's that's a 40-inch, the OM's a 40-inch, the full size is a 41. We're talking right on about 38 here for the parlor. And parlors are great. Love them, very comfortable, fun. Now you see how this sits in his lap.
Still pretty big.
It puts out a heck of a sound for a small guitar. I've had a lot of guys come from the Taylor, like I think it's the
bang for the buck.
I think I've had I think it's the GS Minis. A lot of these Taylor guys are coming from who really like this. The smaller Taylor, they seem to gravitate towards this guitar. Big sound, it really does put out a big sound for this small box. Very fun, very comfortable. And we're gonna go back to the We're gonna go back to the OM and compare sound here. On here. Back to the OM. It's amazing how well depth that parlor did. Now, if you want the cutaway box and the electronics, we only have those on, the OM and the full-size Dread. Occasionally, we will install them. If you make a special request, we can occasionally put the electronics, do a custom install of the electronics in the smaller guitar. So ask about that. But we can do it. But if you want the cutaway, only on the OM up on the dreads. So I want to hear a strum again on this versus the. Okay, and then we're going to go to the parlor again. Play that. I give the edge to the OM maybe 7 to 10%, about 10%. I'm here in the room, and put your earphones on, folks. I was doing this on the computer earlier. Earphones help a lot on this on your computer. Great sounding, God, for a small guitar, it's surprising. Okay, now we're going to go down to the travel. Travel size.
A bit smaller. I was going to get a little bit smaller sound.
It's a little smaller box. You notice it's a little bit narrower from here to here. And
the playability is all there, though.
Playability's all there. If you have, you know, we get a lot of customers. I have my 7-year-old son wants to learn guitar. What should I pick in these models? And you know, you got to look too for kids. They're going to grow. But we don't want, the last thing we want is them wrestling with the guitar, trying to get their right arm over it. So at 7 years old, I would be looking at the parlor or the travel. Probably the parlor, because they're going to grow into that. It's going to have a bigger sound. Could possibly go with an OM. You're going to have a little more to reach on the OM because it has a 2-inch longer neck.
Still got the Z up there.
Yeah, these are built exactly like our full-size guitars, just smaller. And again, I have guys who own in their offices who keep a travel or a parlor in their office full time, and then they got their main guitar at home. So they're great little players. But let's do a back and forth between the parlor and the travel here again. Hit the travel. Okay, and we're going to go back to the parlor. A little bit more depth and power there, quite a bit more. Like I said, if you can't decide between the parlor and the travel, I usually recommend the parlor. It's just got more punch to it, unless you need the absolute smallest guitar for travel. I have a lot of women who, you know, they find the full size a little intimidating. For you, I usually recommend the OM or the parlor. My mother is 5'1", and she owns both. She has the parlor on the left here and the OM. She likes them for different reasons. She has a lot of fun with this parlor size. Just very comfortable. The more, I hate to use the word professional of the two, but this has the full scale length here. You notice, same as our dread. So, you know, the OMs, they're a great guitar. Got a lot of pro artists of our artists using the OMs. And if you want the cutaway box, electronics, that sort of thing, I would go with the OM size. So, you know, it comes down to what you're looking for and what your needs are. But children, usually, I'm guiding down this way. You know, if, let's say, 12-year-old son, he's about 5 foot, I'd see nothing wrong. At 5 feet, I'd see nothing wrong, honestly, with the full-size dread or the OM. He's going to grow into the dread, probably pretty fast. There's also the thing of having to adjust to a larger guitar later. If you don't want him to totally get used to, I mean, unless he's really small, if you have a choice, I'll many times guide him up to the full size if he can. If he's close to 5 foot tall, go for the dread, because he's going to have less of a problem adjusting to, you know, a full size later on in his life.
Capo upper way.
That's another idea, you know, and we have a video on capos too. You may want to check that out. But you could you know, if he's a smaller kid but still wants that full-size dreadnought, you could use a capo with it and just capo down to the 3rd fret, and that neck's going to be a lot shorter for him. So that's another avenue.
Easier to play also.
Easier to play as well. So on top of our EZ-Play. So, you know, a few choices here, and you know, if you have further questions to ask, don't be afraid to call or email. Someone's here 7 days a week. You need more videos made, more comparisons. We will do some more head-to-head comparisons between these exact models here, but we thought we'd just do kind of a run-through of, you know, the best size for you, and go through our sizes. And don't forget, on our comparison page here, our size page, there's a link to that down lower on our main guitars page, where you can compare all these sizes. They have dimensions of all this scale length, so you can, you know, compare them maybe to your own guitar and see what you like. But our big sellers, full-size Dread, far and away. Most customers go with that. We have a few customers going with the OMs. Quite a few these days going with the parlor size. Very fun guitar. And for those guys who travel a lot, want a guitar in the office, children, younger children, women, and I have some guys too who just love this little guitar that travels. So kind of comes down to what you need. Hopefully this helps you out, folks. If you have any other questions, shoot us an email or give us a call. Take care. Bye.